Ladies and gentlemen, space lovers, and anyone who still holds a grudge against astronomers, good evening. Today we gather here to discuss one of the most controversial subjects in modern astronomy. No, not whether aliens exist, not whether we should actually be worried about asteroids, but something far more serious, something that shook the very foundations of our solar system. I'm talking, of course, about Pluto. Pluto, once the ninth and proudest underdog of our planetary lineup, was cruelly demoted in 2006 by a bunch of scientists at the International Astronomical Union. Ever since, people have been arguing loudly, emotionally, and sometimes with Pluto-themed protest signs about whether it should still be considered a planet. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Why does it even matter? It's just a frozen rock really far away. Well, first of all, how dare you? Pluto has feelings. Probably. Well, secondly, it matters because Pluto's story is one of hope, betrayal, and an underdog's fight for respect. It's basically the Rocky of celestial bodies. And today I'm here to give you all of the facts so you can decide once and for all whether Pluto deserves its planetary comeback. Let's go back to 1930. It was a simpler time. Bread cost 10 cents. People didn't argue about Pluto because it had just been discovered. And astronomer Clyde Tombaugh, a 24-year-old working at the Lowell Observatory, spotted this tiny icy world at the edge of our solar system. Pluto was officially crowned the ninth planet, and humanity cheered. For decades, Pluto sat proudly on schoolroom posters, happily orbiting the sun like the other planets. It had an unusual tilt, a weird elliptical orbit, and was way smaller than the others, but nobody cared. We accepted it for who it was. Then came the scientists. In 2006, the International Astronomical Union, or as I like to call them, the Fun Police, decided that in order to be a planet, a celestial body must meet three criteria. 1, it must orbit the sun. Well, Pluto does this, no problem. 2, it must be round. Well, again, Pluto is round. It's not out there looking like a potato. And 3, it must have cleared its orbit, meaning it needs to dominate its neighborhood and not share its space with other debris. Uh-oh, Pluto. You see, Pluto's neighborhood is a bit of a mess. It lives in the Kuiper Belt, a region full of icy rocks, dwarf planets, and who knows what else. It hasn't cleared anything, and for this reason, scientists decided Pluto was out. It was no longer a planet, it was now a dwarf planet, which is like calling it a planet but also kind of insulting it at the same time. It's like getting demoted from CEO to assistant to the regional manager. People were outraged. Social media exploded with hashtags like Justice for Pluto. Kids cried, adults cried. Even dogs named Pluto probably looked sad. Since then, Pluto has been the subject of intense debate. Some scientists say rules are rules. Pluto doesn't make the cut. And others say rules are dumb and Pluto should be a planet again. Even NASA's New Horizons spacecraft, which visited Pluto in 2015, showed us that Pluto has mountains, an atmosphere, and possibly an underground ocean. That's a pretty impressive resume for something that's not a planet. And guess what? Some scientists argue that if we use Pluto's planetary standards across the solar system, even Earth might not qualify as a planet. That's right, according to some researchers, Earth hasn't cleared its orbit either because, well, asteroids exist. So really, Pluto was judged unfairly, and if we're being honest, do we even know the third rule? Mercury and Venus don't have moons, but we still count them. Jupiter has so many moons it could start its own solar system, and we still count it. Pluto was just minding its own business when scientists decided it wasn't good enough. So where does that leave us? Will Pluto ever reclaim its planetary status? Should we start printing new textbooks? The truth is, Pluto doesn't care. It's been doing its thing for billions of years, and no human debate is going to change that. But for the rest of us, Pluto is more than just a lump of ice. It's a reminder that science is always evolving. It challenges us to rethink what we know, to embrace change, and to defend the little guy. So is Pluto a planet? Maybe, maybe not. But what matters is that Pluto still has a special place in our hearts. Whether it's a planet, a dwarf planet, or just a cosmic misfit, Pluto is ours. And let's be real, if we're going to call anything a planet, it might as well be the one we love the most. Thanks for watching.